The life and sad ending of Irene Ryan. Irene Ryan, born Jessie Irene Noblet, was born October 17, 1902, in El Paso, Texas. She was the second child and latter daughter born to Catherine J. Cady and James Merritt Noblet. Her father was an Army sergeant from North Carolina, and her mother had immigrated from Ireland. Jessie Irene was 17 years younger than her only sister, Anna. Ryan began her career at the age of 11 after winning $3 for singing Pretty Baby in an amateur contest at the Valencia Theater in San Francisco. At 20, she married writer-comedian Tim Ryan. They performed in vaudeville as a double act, known in show business as a Dumb Dora routine and epitomized by George Burns and Gracie Allen. Known professionally as Tim and Irene and billed formally as Tim Ryan and Irene Noblet, they starred in 11 short comedies for educational pictures between 1935 and 1937. Substituting for Jack Benny in 1936, they starred in the Jell-O Summer Show on NBC's Red Network. Tim and Irene Ryan had no children and divorced in 1942, although she kept his surname. She toured with Bob Hope and was on his radio program for 2 years. She played Edgar Kennedy's wife in 2 of his RKO series of short films in 1943. That same year, she appeared in the country music film Oh, My Darling Clementine. By 1943, Tim Ryan had become a prolific character actor in movies, and Monogram Pictures reunited Tim and Irene for 4 feature films, the last being the 1944 musical feature Hot Rhythm with Donna Drake. In 1946, Irene married Harold E. Knox, who worked in film production. They divorced in 1961. The couple had no children. She continued to work in motion pictures in the late 1940s and early 1950s, generally playing fussy or nervous women. In 1946, she joined the cast of The Jack Carson Show on CBS Radio. She played a neighborhood storekeeper who operates a combination candy shop and lending library. In 1955, in January, Ryan made her first television sitcom appearance in an episode of the CBS series The Danny Thomas Show. She appeared with Walter Brennan in the 1959 episode Grandpa's New Job on the ABC sitcom The Real McCoys. In the 1960-1961 CBS sitcom Bringing Up Buddy, starring Frank Alliter, she was cast in 3 episodes as Cynthia Boyle, and she appeared as Rusty Wallace in The Romance of Silver Pines, a 1962 episode of My Three Sons, starring Fred McMurray. In 1966, Ryan was a contestant, celebrity guest star on the game show Password. Ryan was cast in what was her best-known role in 1962 as Daisy Granny Moses, the mother-in-law of patriarch J.D. Jed Clampett in the Beverly Hillbillies, although Ryan was only 5.5 years older than Buddy Ebsen. Daisy Mae Moses, portrayed by Irene Ryan in all 274 episodes, called Granny by all, is Jed's mother-in-law, so is often called Granny Clampett, in spite of her last name. She has an abrasive personality and is quick to anger, and is often overruled by Jed. She is a devout Confederate and fancies herself a Baptist Christian, dunked, not sprinkled, with forgiveness in her heart. A self-styled MD, mountain doctor, Granny uses her white lightning brew as a form of anesthesia when commencing painful treatments, such as leech bleeding and using pliers for teeth pulling. In both 1963 and 64, Ryan was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Continued Performance by an Actress in a Series as the lead. In 1966, Irene Ryan played Granny in the comedy Don't Worry, We'll Think of a Title, co-starring Rose Marie and Maury Amsterdam. In 1972, Ryan starred in the role of Berth in the Bob Fosse-directed Broadway musical Pippin, in which she sang the number No Time at All. Ryan was nominated for Broadway's 1973 Tony Award as Best Supporting or Featured Actress for her performance in Pippin. Ryan was a lifelong heavy smoker. On March 10, 1973, Ryan suffered an apparent stroke during a performance of Pippin. She flew home to California on her doctor's orders and was hospitalized. She was diagnosed with an inoperable glioblastoma. Sadly, she died at St. John's Hospital, Santa Monica, California, on April 26, 1973, aged 70. Her body was interred in a mausoleum crypt at the Woodlawn Memorial Cemetery in Santa Monica.